Hey guys, it's Mike out here at the San Marcos Escondido campus, and we are starting a new thread here on the Daily Dose. We're going to be telling you our favorite Jesus stories, and so I get to tell you my Jesus story. So my favorite verse about Jesus is a very, very short story, and it's right between a whole lot of teaching and then a whole lot more teaching, and it's just a quick little, I think it's 4 verses, but let me share this with you, and let me tell you why it's an amazing one. We're looking in Matthew chapter 8, starting in verse 1. It's, again, a small one that has so much power. It says, "When he came down from the mountainside, large crowds followed him. A man with leprosy came and knelt before him and said, 'Lord, if you are willing, can you make me clean?'" Now you got to understand something. First, this leper should not be there. See, if you had leprosy, you were not allowed to be anywhere near civilization. You had to dress different. You had to yell unclean. You had to make it very clear that you do not belong. And so with this guy even to sneak in the crowd, I'm sure people didn't notice him, meaning he probably didn't yell. He probably didn't look the part. He was out of sorts, as you can kind of think. And yet right there's this moment where the whole crowd notices they're with a leper, and then they realize Jesus is talking to this leper. Now, a couple things you got to know about lepers. If you touch them, you're now unclean, and you can't go into town. You can't travel with friends or family or whatnot. You are now isolated socially as well. And you could legally stop and kill this leper since he came into your event and he organized. So there's kind of this awkward moment where here's a guy asking Jesus for healing. And now the crowd is watching Jesus going, well, what's he going to do? Should we kill them? He's definitely not going to touch him. He definitely is not going to ruin himself. So what are we going to do? And we get this response. Verse 3. Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. It says, "I am willing," he said, "be clean." Immediately he was cured of his leprosy. Then Jesus said to him, "See that you don't tell anyone, but go show yourself to the priest and offer the gifts Moses commanded as a testimony to them." Now, this is why I love this, because here's a guy that does not belong where he is, that should not feel the way he does, and yet when he comes to Jesus in front of all the pomp and circumstance, Jesus says, "Look, I'm going to touch you." He doesn't just say, "Be healed," but actually reaches into this guy's life and touches him. See, he goes asking for something, and yet Jesus gives him something so much more. I think the thing that would really bother me about leprosy, more than being a leper, it's not being touched or not being acknowledged for so much time. And yet this guy, he just wants healing. And yet Jesus reaches in and touches him and gives him something more that he needed. More than he wanted, but what he needed. I know it's a small one, but it always gets me thinking, what areas of my life is Jesus reaching into and touching? What is it that I'm looking for in me saying, "God, if you give me, give me, give me." And he says, "No, Mike, this is what you need." So maybe today you're walking around thinking, "God, what is it in my life? What do I need for you to reach in and touch me?" Maybe you're thinking, "Man, there's a whole lot of lepers around me," and maybe you need to be the hands and feet of Jesus and reach out and touch someone else and say, "Hey, this is what I got. This is what I can offer you." Just your daily dose for the morning. Have a great day.